Welcome to my channel. I am Audrey, and you are here because of your interest in the backstory before each Sunday school lesson. The algorithm needs the progress of this channel to reflect the viewer's participation, so please give me a thumbs up if you find this video useful. Thank you so much in advance. The Sunday School lesson for October the 9th, 2022 is entitled Song of Moses, based on Deuteronomy chapter 32, verses 3 through 6, verses 10 through 14, and verse 18. To the new viewers, the agenda is I will share the backstory, read the lesson text, and offer a brief lesson summary. The backstory. Let's begin. Moses' speeches and songs. As the book of Deuteronomy comes to a close, Israel's leader, Moses, was on the verge of death. As a result of the impending change of leadership, Moses spoke publicly for the final time. The result is several smaller speeches and songs that serve as the dramatic conclusion to his ministry. Moses' speech included a statement on his successor, a recitation of the law, and a prediction of the future. Instructions. In Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 19 and verse 30, God told Moses to write a song, commonly called the Song of Moses, and teach it to the people. Three songs of Moses. Moses wrote a song after crossing the Red Sea, according to Exodus chapter 15. Psalm 90 presents a prayer of Moses. Deuteronomy chapter 32 outlines the last days of Moses' life. Final song. Moses recited the words of the song, and Israel learned the song of Moses. The song that Moses recited to the people takes up the better part of chapter 32. Moses. On the same day that Israel learned the song of Moses, God directed Moses to climb Mount Nebo. Moses was allowed to see the promised land from a distance. God did not allow Moses to enter the promised land according to Deuteronomy chapter 32, verses 51 through 52. And here God gives the reason that Moses was not permitted to enter the promised land. He said, now, this is because Moses broke faith with God in the presence of the Israelites at the waters of Meribah, Kadesh, in the desert of Zin, and because Moses did not uphold God's holiness among the Israelites. Therefore, Moses will see the land only from a distance. He will not enter the promised land. God was true to his promise. He showed Moses the promised land, but did not let him enter in. Moses died on Mount Nebo in Moab. The Lord buried him in Moab, according to Deuteronomy chapter 34, verse 6. Song of Moses, Deuteronomy chapter 32, verses 3 through 6, verses 10 through 14, and verse 18. Key text. Take to heart all the words I have solemnly declared to you this day, so that you may command your children to obey carefully all the words of this law. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 46. Verse 3. I will proclaim the name of the Lord. Oh, praise the greatness of our God. Verse 4. He is the rock. His works are perfect, and all his ways are just. A faithful God who does no wrong. Upright and just is he. Verse 5. They are corrupt and not his children. To their shame, They are a warped and crooked generation. Verse 6. Is this the way you repay the Lord, you foolish and unwise people? Is he not your Father, your Creator, who made you and formed you? Verse 10. In a desert land he found him, in a barren and howling waste. He shielded him and cared for him. He guarded him as the apple of his eye. Verse 11. Like an eagle that stirs up its nest and hovers over its young, that spreads its wings to catch them and carries them aloft. Verse 12. The Lord alone led him. No foreign God was with him. Verse 13. He made him ride on the heights of the land and fed him with the fruit of the fields. He nourished him with honey from the rock and with oil from the flinty crag. Verse 14. With curds and milk from herd and flock, and with fattened lambs and goats, with choice rams of Bashan, and the finest kernels of wheat. You drank the foaming blood of the grape. Verse 18. You deserted the rock who fathered you. You forgot the God who gave you birth. The question: what is the purpose of Moses' song? The purpose is, I will proclaim the name of the Lord. Oh, praise the greatness of our God. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 3. A brief summary. Throughout the church history, believers have expressed their joys, doubts, fears, and hopes in songs. These songs of worship have shaped believers into spiritually mature disciples of Jesus. Singing should not be a kind of sedative that numbs us. Rather, our singing should include repentance with praise and self examination with satisfaction. Only in that way can singing shape us as people of God. On the surface, the nature of the song in today's text is rather cynical. It highlights the failure of the people of Israel. Yet, the song's pointed nature leads to a declaration of hope. God's salvation will transform and sustain if only people remember his steadfast commitment to them. As a result, God's people can sing of his mighty deeds, all while confessing out our own failures to appreciate them. That same sort of forgetfulness can plague Christians today when we forget that our salvation is a gift from God as he draws us into his kingdom. We did not earn that citizenship, it was given to us freely. God sustains us when we recite the story of our faith and live out its implications in our lives. Thank you so much for watching. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, and like.